G'day, g'day, g'day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys and thems. Welcome back to another science video that I have to do for class. Anyways, you might be asking yourselves, what are we talking about today, Teach? That's a very good question, if you asked it. We're going to be talking about magnets, but because I have to drag this out through 10 to 20 minutes, we're also going to be talking about electromagnets. What are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about what they are, how they work, where they come from, who discovered them, and more. Stay strapped. This is going to be a wild ride. Let's start this video off with a little history lesson, shall we? The history of magnetism dates way back to 600 BCE, where we find mention of lodestone in the work of Greek philosopher Thales Miletus. Early lodestone found in the Greek region of Magnesia and Anatolia is where the modern word magnet derives from. However, the earliest Chinese reference to magnets dates back to 400 BCE in the book titled The Book of the Devil's Valley. I don't know how it goes. I didn't read the book. I bet it's a good read. Maybe. In this book, it is stated that lodestone makes iron come to it or attracts it, and by the 12th century, the Chinese were using lodestone compasses to navigate, which is pretty cool, if it's true. Now let's move on to how magnets work. Magic! Just kidding. It works by atoms in the magnet's south and north pole. Opposite poles are attracted to each other, and alike poles are repelled. How this works goes as follows. The molecules in the magnet are arranged so that their electrons spin in the same direction, which creates a magnetic field as shown in this diagram here. But how are we supposed to know which materials are magnetic? Well, there's a property called ferromagnetism, which is basically the property of materials that determine whether or not it's magnetic and how magnetic is it. Like, for example, iron is very ferromagnetic, while wood, yeah, not so much. This is both digitally and realistically measurable. This is digitally observable by the gizmo that we did in our class together. If you know, you know. If you don't, do the work. And better yet, it's observable in real life. So let's go experiment with ferromagnetism. To demonstrate ferromagnetism, I'm gonna need a couple of things. Now that I have a brick and some nails and some little fridge magnets, now we can test whether or not these two things are ferromagnetic. As you can see, when we use these magnets against the little nails, the nails are sticking to them, even though when they stick together, they don't attract anything, right? But if we take our brick, for instance, we can see that none of the magnets are sticking, which is a great example of ferromagnetism. Also, I need to put the brick back. But how do electromagnets work? That's the question we need to answer because, well, the whole title of this video, or the whole point of this video, is, well, we're talking about electromagnets and how they're used in society. While regular everyday magnets use magnetite as the main ingredient, electromagnets are made with coils of wire, usually made of copper, with electricity passing through them. The moving charges through the coil creates a magnetic field, as shown in this diagram. And because electromagnets are powered by electricity, we can control them. Anyways, let's move on to how you can make an electromagnet at home. Alright, and now upon watching many videos on how to build one of these things, I've successfully turned this thing into an electromagnet. So, as I said before, you're gonna need a nail, some copper wire, and a simple 9-volt battery. This is not 9 volts, and a simple AA battery. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your copper wire and wrap it around your iron nail and make it look like something like this. What you're going to want to do is have the copper wire coil around the iron nail so that it looks a little something like this. Alright, now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab your coil and your battery, just kind of stick it in between. Ow! That's hot. Let's get a glove. Alright, now that I got a glove, let's do this again. It's kind of sick. Magnets are weird, man. And that's also a cool, neat little demonstration on how electricity and magnetism are correlated. Yeah, so this will produce heat. It might hurt. Yeah. Ain't that neat, huh? God, it's hot. Anyways, that's an electromagnet and how to make one at home. Let's move back. Now, as we've seen in the experiment that we did, you can hurt yourself while playing with electromagnets. They do produce heat, and that heat will hurt. Ow! Maybe. If you're safe, you should be fine. But what about dangers for regular magnets? Well, there aren't many, but if you got big enough magnets, then yeah, that may hurt if you got like your little fingies stuck in them, as described by this video. Man, I would not want to get anything trapped in between that. Some uses for electromagnets include bells, electric generators, data storage, headphones, magnetic locks, MRI machines, and even your stove? That's crazy. Anyways, that's going to be it for this year's video. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you to my teacher for giving an extension because I did not want to rush this project. Thank you very much. Goodbye.